Away from the noise of the generators there, so that skipper and the commissioner for work can take you through the motion of exactly what you have seen. I'm sure you have taken pictures, you've shot reviews and all of that, but you don't really know what exactly is going on. And so the technical experts will take us through all the motions. You saw some transformers there being erected. The pipe behind you, it also has a purpose. All of these things will be explained to us now.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you look behind you, you'll see that you'll see a sending tower. This is where the electricity is going to be taken from the barges to our towers, which are under construction here. There are two sides of the tower. We have two separate circuits. One will be running for these, one's running for these barges, one for the additional barges that will be moored. The barges now are in their permanent mooring location. Below the sending tower, you'll see one of the transformers. There's three brand new 300 MVA transformers with online tap changing to allow us to account for grid fluctuation in voltage. At the moment, we're in the process of beginning to string the wire that's going to run from these transmission towers and the sending towers back to where that insulated cable will be connected to it. As you saw that bridge work that was running across the road, that's the insulated cable. Behind you is a 16-inch gas line. It runs approximately 350 meters to a tie-in point to the NEPA NGC gas line running to the boiler to feed the NEPA boilers. This is the last remaining critical path item on our agenda. We got a little bit behind on it, but we're catching up. As you see, we just have a couple of welds remaining before we can begin our lateral lines to our barges. We have right now on site approximately 600 people. We're working 24 hours a day to complete the project. So far, we've been very fortunate. We haven't had any lost time accidents, and only one minor accident, no reportable accidents. So we've finished with all the work going on and the fast pace of the work, maintain an excellent safety record. That's a quick look at what we have. I'll let the Commissioner add what he'd like to, and then we'll take some questions.
Just by way of some explanation, what skipper just told us is that all of these activities you are seeing are being done by 600 men working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, just to ensure that every T is crossed, all I's are dotted. And he explained about the pipe that you can see behind you, which is what carries the gas into the battery. He also told us about some of these things. Now you can see this whole structure. It's a tap. It's not all this way, so that you don't get a wrong impression that there is a tower still under construction to start this. No. And we in fact have started working on the anticipated 270 megawatts. So this tower, this, and the other ones that you can see here are for the future phase. That's the second phase of it. But this represents the first phase of it. And everything is about ready for the project. And he told us that by the grace of God, we've not had any major accidents at all since they started working here. And we don't hope to record any by the grace of God. Yes, where we are lighted from our various vehicles, you could see a kind of conduit, pipes, but not really pipes. But these are to carry cables that will be connected to the battery and that will eventually carry the energy generated out of this place. Those were like a great lightning. Okay, as we are moving, you will see all of those things when we get there. But we just want to explain all of those things. Are there questions? The obvious that all over the world everybody has known. But the important point which concerns Lagos State is the fact that Lagos State initiated it. And that's an incontrovertible fact which anybody can test the veracity of that claim. So I would say that with all sense of modesty, that expression was superfluous at best, and at worst it could be misconstrued. But it's not really relevant because nobody, Lagos State did not negate that principle. Lagos State did not contradict the fact that the contractual agreement was between NEPA and Aaron. But don't forget that it was shown on all the electronic media, television, heard on radio. The pictures were in the print too. When the agreement was signed between federal government, NEPA and Lagos. I mean, you can't bring something like this without being party to the transaction, without being party to the process of executing it. So Lagos State government side, I remember vividly that the President Attorney General was the Minister for Power and Steel then, and he signed on behalf of the federal government. The Governor of Lagos State signed on behalf of Lagos State. Aaron officials also signed on behalf of Aaron. So, to all intents and purposes, in reality, it's a tripartite agreement. If a facilitator brought in Aaron, automatically it had to be part of the execution process. That's the concern of Lagos State. And furthermore, Lagos State also intervened at a critical moment in saving the project when it was heading for total collapse through the issue of pricing, the controversy surrounding pricing. Lagos State government had to wait to pick up the bill that did the shortfall, which was the contention between NEPA and Aaron. So, if Lagos State is now picking the bill and is also party to the agreement, what does that tell anybody? This Lagos State is an integral part of the project, apart from initiating it. I know that one. Okay, as we go along, you will still be explained to all of you the meanings of those targets that will come on stream whenever we are ready to commission. We have 3 here now, rather than this other one. So these are the 3 badges we are working on for the very first part of this IBP. Take off the badge. So the badge are going to be lined like this. The people have just said it's going to be 6. I think it's 3 anchors per. How many anchors per bag? 3 per bag. 3 anchors per bag. I mean, what you have there now is just for the one that are there. They were not there before. Whatever you are seeing now is due to this project. Equally for very many other things in this now. Because of this visit for you to see physically what has gone to the people who know and realize it's not just a question of rhetoric. In reality, projects of cost, and inshallah, our people will benefit from it. I cannot pinpoint precisely what is left. As you see, any engineering facility will still have 1 or 2 things that must go with it before final commissioning. They are doing the final work that will ensure total readiness for commissioning. Because badges, you know that this is an emergency arrangement, and for this phase, once you commission, once you put them on stream, they are not supposed to be put up until you want to do a major turnaround maintenance. So everything that is required must be in perfect order. I want to believe that is what they are doing. That's what is left. That's what they are doing.
So you can say that for now, the work is over 80% completed.
Well, if not more, but to get the percentage of completion, since we are here with the most senior technical person, is in the better position to confirm to us what level, in terms of percentage. But for all I know, virtually all the critical parts must have been covered. He told you that what is left of the 350 meters of the pipe wall is just that bit you saw there. So, and that came about because of the delays that NTC has necessarily put to facilitate its own maintenance. So, if not for that, by now everything would have been completed. But since they have that facility to still ensure that effectively nothing is left on or nothing is done after Saturday, that must have accounted for a slight shortcoming. Otherwise, I want to believe by the program we have with them, they ought to have completed virtually everything by now. But with the delay that NTC put into it, it's in order for them to still be more determined to remove to ensure adequate safety.
Now, finally, what actually is the date of commissioning? Because people have been worrying about when, especially with the latest delay.
In the last press conference we granted, we said then, and we read out a letter in which Aaron AES said that by the 10th of April they will be ready. But we felt that even if they are ready by the 10th of April, we will want to give them some time to test everything and rest assured that it's not just a haphazard readiness, that we are fully ready to take on the load we promised to give to Lagos. So we are not in a hurry to give a date, but definitely by the middle of this month, of next month, April. Yes, April, we should have this behind us. From what you are seeing now, it's almost over in terms of completion. But other things are just political. That is, we want to be very, very sure every bit of it, every part of it is ready before we now tell you, yes, we are set to go. Because once we set out, we don't want to give any excuse for not having the energy there. So within the middle of the coming month, I want to believe all things being equal, God being our helper, we shall have the independent car project on the street.
Honorable Commissioner, Lagosians kept asking,
if change what we have been saying, we told our people from day one that whatever we are giving now is just a palliative.
what Lagos needs is between 1,500 and 2,000 megawatts of electricity. NEPA is giving between 400 and 500. Effectively, in fact, what NEPA gives these days is about 250 megawatts. So any additional injection of power will definitely rub off on the people. There's no doubt about it. It's like increasing the energy available to Lagosians by whatever amount of power you send through. So from that point of view, it's 90 to 300 or 90 plus 250. So Lagosians will therefore have the advantage of having 340 if it is 250. But if as NEPA improves, the effect of these two will improve. I want us to know too that our target in this year is to ensure that by September, October or thereabout, the total energy that will be available to Lagos through this medium will be 270 megawatts. Then we believe that the force of the people and their pressure on the government, that is the central government, will expedite action on the second phase, which is the most reliable, the most promising, the 540 megawatts phase. That is the land-based hammer station that will be in Mokborobo in Badagry local government. It is that will really give us the confidence to say that when it is on stream, everybody, everywhere, will have the full benefit. Then what we are giving now is just a palliative. And palliative. Have it, the general consumers will not have. No, that's not it. Of course, what to give to industry, the gain of industry is the gain of the people. You cannot, not even robbing of, it's the gain of the people. The industries cannot have this power and still have NEPA. So whatever NEPA energy that is available that the industry will not use, will of course go to the people. It's simple. It's the economics of it that is responsible for giving it first to the industries. Not because we find the industries to the people, no. And we know that in fact the benefit is dual. The people will benefit from the increased energy supply. They equally benefit from the added advantage of employment that will come definitely their way from the increase in production and the capacity that will come up. Yes.
Thank you.
That is it.
So we've come up with a temporary solution. We have water injection that'll be added into this for NOx abatement and to increase the power. That will be ongoing while the barges are running. So some of the work you see will continue on long after we're generating power.
And what is the target then? The target of power in that grid?
The total power, was it?
Yeah, you're planning.
From these barges will be 90 plus megawatts.
For the first phase.
For the first phase.
All of the second phase
will be 290 megawatts.
And in the last phase?
Well, that's for this. Then we have another plant that we want to build in Agbara that's 548 megawatts.
Let's talk a bit about pricing now. Some people say the prices are a bit high, but with land that you came down from almost 8 naira per unit to now. So, are you now saying that this price is competitive for the other part of the world?
Yes, the price is a negotiated price. The reason the price changed was the scope and nature of the project changed. When we originally were going to run these barges, we were going to fuel them on diesel fuel, which is much more expensive. The price also, we looked for economies. When the government said we're high, we looked for economies possible to produce it cheaper. At the end of the day, we settled on the current price. And we believe that this price is a competitive price for this project, for the nature of the contract in this project. Now, different prices can be arrived at by different contracts, but because of the duration of this contract, the amount of equipment on this contract, it is a very competitive price, a price that would be a very good price in the Philippines where these barges were before, or in the United States.
So when will it be completed?
There.
When are you like
Get back to
you? Yeah. Just 1 minute. When I call you to say this one completed?
The whole project will be completed.
Yeah, this first phase.
Oh, the first phase will be completed towards the end of this month.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, April. April. Yes.
Thank you very much.
Where they are already terminated, they ought to be terminated today or there. Have they been terminated? The cable.
No, they'll be tested on Saturday.
Please say they'll clear on Saturday. You will, the cable will still go through those junctions of the site. But it's enough for us to see the extensive work already done. Those conduit trains, those trains, they are the cable. What's total length of the cable? 100 meters. 800 meters. And they are already drawn to the point of termination at the grease stations, the major grease stations. You will see guys there. You will go to where the pipe work will be terminated and the house of NEPA. You see that. And you will see the safety record of the contractor that has been handling this. They are quite conscious of safety, not only for their staff, but for their various installations. And that explains why they have been methodical and they cannot be lost. Even though they are working 24 hours, they don't want anything to go wrong. We'll get there.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is the switch yard where we're going to be making the connections into the national grid. To the east side, or your right-hand side, is a 330 kilovolt section of the grid. Power is generated by the steam turbines in that building. It's stepped up to 330 kilovolts at those transformers and transmitted here and distributed across into the grid on that side. Here are two transformers. They're 300 MVA auto transformers that step the voltage down from 330 to 132. It's a 132 volt section of the switch yard that we'll be transmitting to. To your left over here where this form is the pad where our permanent switch gear will be located. You can see how the cable is routed right now. It's temporarily routed around to the west-hand side of the switch yard. As we walk around, you'll see where our temporary switching apparatus is located.
Hey.
As you can see, our cable is on the left-hand side of the breaker, which is the inside of the breaker disconnect, and from the right-hand side to these drops, these three drops that go into the grid. And that's what's remaining of the electrical connection into the switch yard. Right now, these gentlemen are filling the breaker disconnect with SF6, which is a sulfur octafluoride, which is a gas, an insulating gas that we use for arc suppression on the contacts as they open and close.
Filling into the 132 kVA line.
This is the 132 kVA. This is 132 kVA distribution lines. You have a split or a bifurcated bus. These, you have a south and the north side of these buses. They're mimic buses. They're exactly the same. They both feed parallel into the Accordoo station. At the front end, there was some switching that we didn't get around to looking at, but it's a tie situation, which will be the same as my permanent switch gear is, where you can run your power to either side or both sides of the bus, depending on how you configure your switching.
very disappointing.
Yes, the same problem way back in 1994.
Quite some time after the problems of power crisis similarly was experienced in the Philippines way back in 1992 to 1995. Same crisis we come here in Lagos, short of power. But good, Lagos, a lot of rich people can afford to buy generators from the Philippines. So we have to push the issue of having these plants, the land-based base load plants, sort of answer to the problem on power shortage. Why do you have because some power projects in the Philippines that were stalled because of reasons of politics, like nuclear plant that was during the time of Aquino cannot be operated anymore because people are against it. It's a dirty type plant. There was no plant that can take over as a stopgap insurance. These are the plants that answer the short-term problem. But this is a short-term solution to the problem. Actually, we have been using this until it was disposed by the Philippine government until 1999. There is a contract to this to supply backup power to the Philippines. But because really there are a lot of indigenous sources of power that come into the system in the Philippines, this plant cannot be disposed of. Factor because this is compared to small generators, it's big and can have economy of scale. And for the country where natural gas is more than This is a very reliable plant, really, in the Philippines. And this can run within 30 minutes. This can be connected to your system, like generator. It's a gas turbine plant. Running on a simple cycle.
Have you done your filming?
Just let them out.
As introduction, I am Aurelio Somalino from the Philippines. We've been operating these barges in the Philippines for almost 9 years successfully, and we have been successfully utilizing the benefits out of these plants. Pardon, sir, what's the question?
Yeah, I was saying, what special benefit will Lagos have from this?
These
from
plants are experience that these are portable plants. This can be moved any place where power is short. This can answer to your problem because this can be dispatched as quick as possible compared to other diesel plants. These are gas turbine plants. And for Lagos, that has a potential of natural gas. I think the benefits from these plants are enormous.
Now, compared with generating sets, because we have, from the experience of NEPA, lack of electricity, generating sets are being used. What advantage do they have over generating sets?
Generating sets are more of stopgap measures just to supply instantaneous power. But in the long term, you can feel the disadvantage of these generating sets. You must be concerned of quality power. Power should have the correct voltage, the frequency, and efficiency. We're talking of the right voltage. That's why when you use generators, you might have experienced a lot of problems with your appliances, damage in appliances. That is where it is very necessary that power should be produced in a big quantity to be centralized in these spots, so that the quality power is in the Philippine experience. Our frequency has been set to 60 plus or minus 5%, and this is very small. When you are using generators, your frequency can fluctuate substantially, and this can damage your generator, as well as the voltage. You cannot control it at 220. You can run up to 240 or 180. Then this is very damaging to your appliances.
Is the equipment environment friendly?
Yes,
this in terms of pollution.
Yes, it's using diesel fuel. It depends on the quality of your diesel fuel. Really, what you burn is that what you discharge in the atmosphere. But in the Philippine experience, the quality of diesel has been improved substantially. And in your case, I think this will have substantial benefit because you will be burning ultimately in natural gas.
Ultimately, the natural gas. How long another thing is Nigerian how soon would Nigerians be able to man the plants? In other words, using the local
yes, our objective is really to transfer technology immediately to local Nigerian people. Actually, our contract is at most 2 years. Within that period, I think there is already a transfer of technology, and these plants can be operated by Nigerians.
And they can ultimately be converted to gas fired.
Yes, any changes that we are having to introduce here is that this must be fired dually. Can fire on diesel and can at the same time can be fired using natural gas.
When Philippines was on emergency power supply, using these badges, how long did you use it before you finalized your long term?
Actually, when we experienced the serious power problem way back in 1992 to 1995, that was the period when these power plants have extensive use. However, we still use it until this was disposed in 1999, just to supply us backup power. Really, because there are a lot of indigenous sources of power that comes to the Philippines, like geothermal power coming from volcanic steam. Then these plants have been disposed of because of more efficient or other sources. Well, it is locally available.
So you are still telling me that even though your power from the main source is now restored, you still keeping some of the badges for backup in case there's any catastrophe or any breakdown to the original source of power in Philippines?
Yes, that's right. In fact, we were the ones been creating these barges, and at the time of the disposal there were a lot of opposition, really, because the quality of power in the Philippines will be affected because of the disposal of these barges. But the people just learned that you have to really face the reality that these plants was purchased, loan to the Philippine government, acquired at an extensive price. That's why the Philippine government needs money. So it has been disposed, and there are a lot of alternative sources of power already. So it's very uneconomical to retain these plants as backup power. When there was a year when this was operated about 1 or 2 days only within a year, one of the plants. So it's really very.
It's now idle.
It's not. It's now idle.
It's now surplus to your requirement.
Yes.
And when you are using it, what is the unit price to the users, ultimate users in Philippines?
Well, in the Philippines, the total cost, I think including fuel already, is about 6 cents per kilowatt hour for this power. But because of last fluctuation, because it is the government that is absorbing the cost of fuel, supplying fuel for this, the price is even bigger than that amount. But the original contract was that 6 cents per kilowatt hour.
That is without the subsidy from the government.
Without the subsidy from
the government subsidizes. If you include the subsidy, how much to the consumer?
It can run up to about 8 cents.
And then you use it for the welfare of the people for about 3 years, you are saying?
Yes, yes. This were operated continuous basis during those critical years, 3-year period.
And then how long have you been with it in Nigeria, sure?
Yes, for more than a month already, because our advice that these plants will be our services is needed to man these plants in operation. But when we came here, these plants are not.
How soon are you going to get would the ultimate users of electricity get power supply from the way you've been working since you got to Nigeria?
Actually, I have learned this. I learned information that the contract, there are still conditions preceding the contract where Enron, our employer, cannot proceed with its activity in connecting these bars to the system. I think that's the one obstacle that hinders the immediate deployment of the barges to supply power.
Your Excellency,
how do you react to this?
Yes, I better tell you this. Let's correct one thing here. This is not a contract. It's an investment. Investment in which Lagos State just act as a facilitator. We had not put a penny down of public fund. This is not contract. This is a risk-taking venture which is broken into two parts. Short term, the barges are supposed to bring succor, temporary relief to the industry and the power user throughout the region. The cost is even cheaper than the cost of NEPA today. Get that corrected. People are misrepresenting what I've read in the paper. They are misrepresenting the project as if it's a contract awarded to Enron. Enron is an investor that is bringing in $800 million to our economy, including employment and transfer of technology, which will result in total benefit to our country. The second phase of your question is what?
Yes,
people believe NEPA is giving some problems.
Yeah.
And what you're doing to make sure that these obstacles are removed?
Well, we've done our part. There's an agreement on the ground. And NEPA, with some characters in Abuja, are bent on frustrating the system. And it's unfortunate.
What is the government going to do about this?
That is not a question for now. We're still waiting. We're given the federal government the latitude to see the fact that some people, out of greed, selfish intentions, are bent on frustrating, misrepresenting facts and the data, misrepresenting the financial transaction of the whole thing, misrepresenting the unit and the kilowatt hours, misrepresenting the state and the entire objective. The most unfortunate aspect of it is the fact that we have a history of Metro Line. We are getting closer to that. An investor brought their money, we appealed to them without a penny from our own pocket, and some people are bent because they think one way or the other that Lagos State, the welfare of our people and the economy should not enjoy the short-term benefit and long-term benefit coming from them.
One thing people want to know about is how affordable it will be. Because you did talk of subsidies.
Affordability is not the question. How affordable is the electricity? How affordable is the noise level of the multi-unit generating set that is in there that is causing numerous noise and air pollution to our children? How much is the cost of NEPA's own production before they enjoy the subsidy nationally? How much is Lagos' contribution to the economic and revenue development of NEPA? Those are the questions that should be answered. It's not, people are ready to pay for this. You are already paying for it.
So how do you feel about the situation of things as far as this frustrating things?
I am terribly angry and terribly frustrated that the people's mandate, the true federalism, is not in practice. Overly centralized government of dishonest characters are frustrating the whole project. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for this question. The position of AD in Kaduna State is very clear and it is intact. What I mean by intact in the sense is that there is no dissolution of the executive. Comrade Song left for the national headquarters, that is for the chairmanship of the national headquarters, without due regard of the normal process of party procedures. So there was a vacuum created by that development, and by virtue of the constitution, being in the hierarchy of leadership, I was his deputy, so automatically that position shifted to me, and I have to, because of his involvement in misbehavior towards the leadership and non-recognition of our elders, we felt it was a public embarrassment that we allowed him to